Turkey didn't want this fight. What was that conversation like with him when you went to him and said, this is the fight I want?
Because Turkey, he didn't want the fight at first because he was just like the size difference. You know, same thing like everybody else, size difference. He like, you can fight somebody else in a smaller weight class. And
nah, my guy said, I'm not backing down. And this is why I love him as a fighter, bro. Who begs for a stronger opponent? Meanwhile, I think Tank is fighting somebody weaker than him in the lower weight class next. Same with Shakur. Like, why y'all keep calling out people not on y'all levels, bro? Y'all really want to sell out some shows? Give these people what they want, bro. Fight somebody neck and neck or greater than you. Come on, bro. And it's like people gonna troll, but they can't say too much about that to you. If you taking on somebody who actually at your skill level.
It'd be, you know what I mean, safer for you. I don't think you should move up 2 weight classes and fight.
It's crazy on paper.
You know, and I'm like, nah, that's what I want.
That's crazy, bro.
I don't want nobody else. That's what I want. I said, who else is there to fight? You know? Who? I said, Boots, that does nothing for my career. Virgil, that does nothing for my career. I said, look at Majimov. He was the number 1 154-pounder in the division. I went up and fought him, and everybody, he fought this guy. Yes, he was the number 1 champion, number 1 guy in the division.
Fights definitely have to make sense. And he's a legacy fighter. And his words match his actions. A lot of these fighters, they be confusing me, and I know they be confusing y'all because they be saying one thing out of their mouth, but then when you see the fights or the purses come out about who they going neck and neck with, you just like, bro, I thought you was trying to make a name for yourself. I thought you was trying to be the greatest. I thought you was trying to elevate in legacy. You just want a little easy dub under your belt for another little bit of bread.
That's why I fought.
That's real talk. Terence Crawford is the best fighter of this generation, hands down. Debate me on it. City and state where y'all tuned in from, what time it is. Let me know if y'all agree or y'all.
That was avoided by a lot of people. That's why I fought.
Yeah.
You know, so he was just like, we can fight somebody else. I know that's what I want. And he's like, okay, that's who you want. Then that's who I'm gonna go for. That's how I'm gonna see. You know what I mean? If we can get it done. So a lot of people looking at Canelo like, oh man, Turkey had to pay him all this crazy amount of money for him to fight Crawford and this and that. No, he got a 3-fight deal plus 1. You know, Turkey did pay him a lot of money, you know what I mean? But in that option, he had to fight Terence Crawford.
Right. Leverage. That's ultimate leverage. What other fighter has that much leverage with Turkey? Maybe Shakur. But that is a lot of leverage to have with Turkey when you could look to him face to face, eye to eye.
You know, so everything worked out, you know what I mean, for the best.
Yeah. Can you talk about that, though? Can you talk about your negotiations to make this fight? Like, I ain't saying numbers. I'm saying just the process to, like, get it done when you negotiate on my side.
It was tough. It was tough because I remember, you know, they all brought me in, and it was crazy. They was like, you by yourself.
Yeah.
Where was you at? What country was you at?
I think we was in, I think we was
That's that big event was for Shakur fight.
It was for Shakur fight. And I think we was in Saudi.
Okay.
So they brought me in there. Then we went to the little back room. And we was there for like 9 hours. Going back and forth.
Dang.
You know, they not budging, I'm not budging. I'm in that mug like this. I'm like,
By yourself.
by myself. And they like, and they calling Turkey. He's not. they talking in their language and texting, and we going back and forth. And yeah, I'm like, man, I just want to talk to Turkey. They like, you can't talk to Turkey because he's your friend.
So they trying to protect Turkey from the friendship.
Yes.
Because he gonna get in.
Yes. So they basically was like, you know,
That's crazy.
hey, we gotta get the deal done. You know what I mean? Like, you can see Turkey when you get the deal done. And I'm like, oh man, listen, y'all talking about it ain't making sense. You know?
Did you have a number though?
Yeah.
Or you kind of had a number like, I want to be in this range.
Yeah, I had a number, and it was just like, they like, man, listen, we gonna have to talk. so we all in that motherfucker were like, you know what I mean? 9 hours, dog.
9 hours, bro.
I'm telling you,
Straight?
And that's crazy because that 9 hours could have been 30 minutes to an hour if he would have just said, okay, let me fight a smaller, weaker opponent. But nah, he did not back down. And to this day, I'm going to always big Crawford up as a fighter for that.
straight.
That's crazy.
They tired, sleepy, irritable. Like you can tell everybody frustrated. Man, it was one time. It was like at a moment where we just sitting in that mug like this, right? Just trying to figure it out. Everybody just quiet. I'm like,
But
man, I feel like y'all trying to jump me because y'all keep bringing people in to try to negotiate, and I'm like, that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
It ain't going to work because my mind is made up what I want. I want the best. Give me the best. And you know what? Turkey is going to have more trust in his business decision because I definitely see Terence.
You know what I mean? So we finally came to terms, and
Did you get to terms that day or you got close that day?
everything happened that day. There ain't nothing. No, it's you. Not your lawyer, not this guy. It's you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We talking to you, so you gonna have to figure it out. You know what I mean? And we can figure the contract stuff later. But far as, you know, the number, this is gonna be a number that you gonna figure out. So we going back and forth and we figuring it out, and then we came to a agreement, and I'm like, man, it wasn't the agreement that they wanted. It wasn't an agreement that I wanted. So it was kind of like in the middle. So it was just like, let's roll with it.
Right.
Then once we, you know what I mean, agreed to it, then everybody happy that we out this locked up. You know what I mean? And yeah, man,
They say that's a sign of a good negotiation though. When both sides leave not fully satisfied. Like I really wanted this, but I take that. And they really wanted to do this, but we can agree to that.
Yep.
Did you talk to Turkey after?
yeah.
What'd he say?
Nothing. He just was telling me, why didn't you agree to the deal? I said, man, why I couldn't talk to you from the jump?
What did he say? He said that.
He just was like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm his favorite fighter. And, you know, he want to take the friendship out of business, like the heart. Like, basically, you know what I mean? I can't.
That's big. For Turkey to tell Crawford, you my favorite fighter, that's big. This will never happen, but what y'all think would happen if the time was right and him and Floyd fought? Because he's neck and neck. Because the way he even takes a hit, you know what I mean? Like, this man can really take hits. Think about his background, his story, how he got hit up in the head and still walked back in the boxing ring. Like, the man is really an alien, bro. And 5-10 years from now, his name is going to stand out. Him and Mayweather.
I can't do business with you like I do with everybody else because, you know, we friends. So this is why I have a team, you know, to keep my emotions away from business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I respect it. I'm just like, I'm like, man, I respect all that. You know what I mean? Because, you know, it's been times that, you know, I done did the same. Like, hey, things like that, you know, when we friends, like, I'm going to give in to my brother. You know what I mean? I'm going to give my brother what he wants if I got it. So, you know, when we doing real business, we gotta take that out of the equation, you know, and talk to the lawyers or something like that. Man, leave me out of it.
Man, bro, look how God worked though, bro. Like, like you battling, doing what you doing, and you been making your money. You been negotiating, doing your thing, and we gonna talk about that because you put a number out there, bro. And people really think you made that number. And I ain't asking for you to say what number you made. I'm saying you got people out here, they just finally made this. I'm like, bro, this is, y'all tripping. But look how God worked though, bro. You battling outside the ring, you dealing with the stuff that fighters gotta deal with, especially when you stand on something.
Yeah.
If you just say yes, man, and you gonna do whatever the shooter, your promoter tell you to do, you probably not gonna have no problem outside the ring. But if you somebody that stand on business, you got a vision for your life and your career, and you gonna make sure it goes in that direction, you gonna have some stuff that come up.
Message. Yo, when I first started my YouTube channel, I still made music, but I was making music at the time. couple of the homies like, "Yo, why you doing that dumb little that's not gonna make your music career get where it gotta get." And even with a lot of relationships, the reason why they so peaceful is because people don't have a vision for themselves, so they get ran all over. They don't got boundaries, they don't got customs they used to. But when you got a vision and you stand on something, you gonna always have conflicts with certain people. You know what I mean? And you can't escape that. But I'm gonna tell you what, it's a safer bet to put your faith and longevity in that vision.
But you get to do way across the world, bro. And you his favorite fighter.
And he know everything about me.
He know everything about you, and his main goal is to get you the big fight.
Yes.
Bro, that's crazy to me.
Amazing.
When did you first meet him?
Right.
Or get wind of him?
Man, I got wind of him, you know, years ago. You know, there was actually, you know, somebody else in his position, you know, that I was his favorite fighter. You know, and he wanted to do business with me, but you know, he wasn't on the level of Turkey. They like, man, he nothing. So when Turkey came into position, you know, and I met Turkey, you know what I mean, it was just different. Like he wanted the best for me because he seen how, you know, I was getting blackballed. He seen how the system was, you know, doing me. He seen how, you know, the promoters was having this agenda to assassinate my character. And, you know, it wasn't just Top Rank. You know, it was, you know, other promoters like, oh, he don't sell. But when you look at every arena that I didn't fought in, I didn't packed it.
Probably.
You know,
MSG.
it didn't matter where it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I dislike the promoters. Instead of them promoting you, they trying to tear you down. You know, but I just wouldn't let them. I just, you know, keep doing what I'm doing. And, you know, I always said, as long as I keep winning, that's all that matters. So when a lot of people say, oh, well, he was fighting Canelo for the money. You know, I got money. I been had money.
Why would you?
You know, I could have been retired.
Right.
You know, I was fighting for legacy. Legacy was what I was fighting for because I knew beating Canelo was gonna do something that never been done before. You know, so my thing was, this is an opportunity for not only for me to shut all these people up that says all these negative things about me, but to be a slap in the face for all these promoters and managers that, you know, it says all these things and say that I can't do this and I can't do that.
Right. Look how God works. Stay down until you come up.
Stay down till you come up. What can you say about
But man,
that?
he'll assign people to you
Facts.
to bless you and to get you where he wants you to go. And it's somebody we never heard of. Dude just came on the scene and made you his priority, bro. So that's a blessing. And the thing about, like, he fighting Canelo or you fighting for a payday. Duh.
Right.
Who's fighting for free? No, I don't want just a payday. I want a career high payday.
Facts.
Then we gonna do the money thing. Then we gonna do the legacy thing.
Mhm.
Now, if I'm just trying to take it for the money and I really don't think I can beat you, that's a different situation. So people gotta understand. Oh, you just want to do it for the money. Who's fighting for free?
Nobody.
Please tell me. Nobody. So I can't fight right until I get this fight right. Once I take care of that at the table, all right, let's go get ready now and get my body right. So I don't understand. So y'all need to stop saying, I know it's popular, payday.
And you know what? A lot of these boxers say, I want legacy. I believe this man. City and state y'all tuned in from, what time it is, where y'all at. This man begged this man for 9 hours to fight a stronger opponent. W. Crawford, bro. Got my respect with that.